Hello everyone and welcome back to a new writing vlog. So for this writing vlog, I'm a bit all over the place. For this writing vlog I'm going to revise my first novel, my first project. But this is essentially the story that has two point of views. It is Norse inspired, about this witch girl and this council member. Yeah, if you want to hear me talk about this book, I can link the playlist that I have for this book in the corner right here. Why I'm saying that I'm a bit all over the place, or I will be with the writing vlogs that is coming up now or in the following months, is because I have a lot going on. So I have a plan, I have a writing plan. So for June, which is right now when I'm filming this, I'm going to read through the whole of my first project. And while I'm doing that, I'm taking notes on the side and the book as well, because I have it all printed out. This is my book. This is my whole book. So that's exactly what I will be doing in June. I am already almost done. I didn't really want to film. I didn't really feel like filming. I didn't really feel like filming even today because I feel like my creativity has been really low lately and all I want to do is read and write. June is for reading and I'm almost done, and it's the 10th of June. I have almost finished my first read through of my book, and then I'm going to see over these notes and make categories for each thing. So if it is story issues or if it's character issues or world building issues, so that I have multiple categories, and then I'm going to take the category that has the most questions or notes. I'm going to go over that first. So that's what I'll be doing in June. And then in July, my first priority will be writing a novel for a contest. This short story is going to be historical, paranormal romance, and I have never written anything like that before. So I'm setting off the whole of like the first half of July to write that short story and brainstorm and just get it done. And then I'm probably going to send it out to some beta readers, hopefully, that's going to read that over, because I'm just going to do that. You will see why I can't do it later, because that short story is going to be handed in like the last of October or something. In the first half of July I'm going to do a short story and I'm going to film the whole experience. I've already filmed some clips for that video, but this may come up later, so maybe that's already up. If that's the case, I can link that in this video corner here and in the description below. So after I have finished the short story, I am going to jump back into my second project. So here's where it gets a little bit tricky. The whole of June I'm going to work on my first project, and then the short story, and then the second project, because for the whole of August I'm going to send this book out to beta readers, my second book, because I have some good things going on right now, some really exciting writing things going on. It kind of pushes me to start working on this book a lot earlier than I first thought to do. So my plan was to take 3 months of break from the last sentence that I wrote in the book and the reread of the book, but now it's only going to be 1 month, and I really hope that it doesn't mess up my revision brain and my editing brain. In August I will have both the short story and the second book out to beta readers to read in August, because in September I'm going to work so freaking hard, both in July and August, and in September I'm going to work hard on my second project because I'm going to send it out to a publisher in the end of September. So yeah, I didn't really plan for this to happen, I just need to do it. I feel like I can do it. So so for this video I'm going to reread my book, I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to talk about all of that stuff. So I'm reading this book and I find myself reading it so freaking quickly. And I don't think it's because my writing is that good, you know, that gripping. It's because when I wrote this book, I mainly focused on the plot beats and, you know, character beats. But there's not much in between of those beats that ground me in the story. So when I'm reading this, I always feel like I'm on top of things all the time, and then I don't have time to, you know, sink into the story and sink into the characters. When I wrote this, I had a rule of not having multiple chapters with the same character after the other. So right now I have a chapter from one character, and then right after that I have a chapter from the other character, and so on. So they go back and forth between the characters for each chapter. But I don't like that right now. When I'm revising this and going through it again later, I need to add chapters, maybe shorter chapters that is not important for the main plot, but that is important for the characters in between the, you know, the big events, And I have small scenes like this throughout the book, you know, it's not big events happening all the time. But at the same time, I feel like there's something missing. I feel like we need, you know, just a scene where the character sits and talks with someone about, you know, something. It still has to matter to the book and to the characters, but it doesn't have to be something big and exciting and, you know, plot twisty. And I think that is something that I have learned from writing my second book, which is just from one POV, but that is that not every chapter has to be this great big thing. I have a lot of chapters in that book that are just grounding chapters. I don't really know how to structure it yet, because I don't know if I want to go through it and fix all the story things that I have to fix and then add new scenes and then go over it again, or if I'm going to go over it, not edit anything, but just add chapters and scenes. I don't really know. But right now the story is 27 chapters and 86 something thousand words. It's going to be a lot longer than that if I'm going to add all of these chapters and scenes. And I really have to sit down, I think, and brainstorm all of that. But with this book I'm taking the revision process a bit slow, because I know that I don't have a deadline. I know that I will only work on this for June, and then I'm going to work on other things. That's where I'm at. If you can't tell, my brain is all over the place right now. Hello everyone, it's Monday the 14th of June and I'm currently sitting down to do some writing. So when I last talked to you, I talked about my revision and what I was going to do, and by then I had about 50 pages left to read in my book. And now I have some updates. So I finished reading my whole book. I filmed a clip of that, I think. So I finished reading my book, and then I went over all the storyline, the big story issues. I went over all of that, but that ended up bringing me more trouble than I thought. So I thought that I would just fix up some things and connect some dots and whatever. But I ended up having to, like, restructure my whole book, essentially. So like I talked about, I had in the beginning chapters from 2 point of views. It's still 2 point of views, but I mean, I had one chapter from that point of view and then switched over to the other point of view, and it went on like that for the whole book. But I quickly realized when I read it that that doesn't work, and so I restructured it, because some chapters ended on a cliffhanger point, I guess, and then the next chapter after that was from another point of view, and then the next chapter after that was from the same point of view, but started off from the exact moment that the last chapter from that point of view ended. Do you know what I mean? It's I can picture it in my head, because I just, you know, fixed that whole thing in my book. So now it's better. Now there's like 3 chapters from one point of view, and then there's 2 chapters from the other point of view, and so on. So there is more chapters from each point of view each time that we see the different characters. And now I'm sitting here with notes that I took from the first draft. I'm sitting here with those notes, and this makes it so much harder for me to actually edit my book, because the notes that I took, the pages, the page count that I wrote down, that doesn't matter anymore really. And so it will be a pain in the ass to actually like find all the notes and find all the scenes that I'm talking about in my notes. So another update, when I finished this draft, it was 27 chapters. And now I have 35 chapters. So I ended up adding 8 chapters more. Like, one big chapter ended up being like 2 chapters instead. So it feels like it's more fast-paced, I guess. So the long chapters ended up being 2 different chapters, and some of those new chapters I just added in between scenes because I knew that I needed them. So the new chapters are not written. I'm going to write them, some of them today, but these new scenes all have to do with like my romantic arc and my character arc. Because now when I read it, the first like act and a half of the second act, it ended up so fast-paced, and the same with the other half of the book, but especially the first half, because it needed some more character building, it needed some more like romantic scenes so that I can set up the love interests in this book. I'm adding scenes, I'm adding chapters, like the word count is essentially the same as when I finished the draft. It's still at 86,000 or something. My plan today is to write some new stuff into this book, some new scenes, some angsty romantic scenes. I feel like it's an overwhelming task, so therefore I will go in chronological order, and I will go, because I made some notes in the document with like comments, because right now I'm editing in Google Docs. So I think I will be able to get one round of edits done in June. That will be it for this little update. I hope that you are liking this vlog. Let me know in the comments what you are working on right now, because I love to know. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch a writing live stream with some writing sprints, and then, like I said, I'm gonna keep writing, or I'm gonna start writing new scenes into my book. Hello, let's talk about my project, shall we? So, I thought that I was going to be able to finish writing my new scenes and my new chapters, but turns out I'm far from done. So I think I have done every new scene and every new chapter from one of my POVs. Scrap that, I have one more scene to write actually, or two more chapters to write. I am done in the beginning of the book. All the chapters and new scenes that I had to write in the beginning are done and completed, but the later chapters and scenes that I had to write, they are not done. I don't really know how many chapters I need to do. I'm gonna try and count. Okay, so I think I have 8 or 9 chapters slash scenes that I have to write. And with that said, I am on chapter 13 right now, and I'm going to write chapter 13 today, and it's from my second point of view. And I have like 2 new chapters that I need to write in the beginning. Like, I need to write them today. And I don't know why I thought that I would be able to do this in 1 week, because my chapters tend to be quite long. And even though my new chapters are about 1,500, it still takes a long time for me to write those 1,500 words. I need the whole of next week to do this, but I'm just gonna inform you on my word count. My word count right now is 91,841, and it's almost the same length as my adult fantasy book. And it's going to be a lot longer because I have a lot of new chapters to write down. But I don't know how to feel about my YA fantasy being longer than my adult fantasy. And I also thought that I was going to be able to finish my first round of edits on this book before July. But I'm a bit disappointed of myself and I can't lie about that. I'm a bit disappointed. With that said, I think I will be able to at least get the new scenes and new chapters done. So I'm making progress in my book, and that's all I can ask for, really. So with that said, I'm gonna stop talking now and actually sit down and write for once. Hello, yes, I cut my hair, and yes, it's been a while since I last talked to you. I just finished going through my book and adding scenes and chapters. My whole book went from 27 chapters to 37 chapters, so I added 10 chapters, and it went from 86,000 something to 96,704 words. So I added 10 chapters and essentially 10,000 words. Today it's Tuesday, the 22nd of June, and I finished going through my whole book and adding scenes where I wanted to add scenes. I need to read through again and actually see if my structure is better this time in order to be done with the structure. And I definitely think that I've missed some things and that I need to go back and fill things out and add things as I go. But with that said, it's Tuesday, so I really have until like Saturday to actually do stuff with this project. So my plan is to go grab my notes again that I have over here. So my plan is to go through them and mark them with different colored pencils, and I'm going to mark what has to do with character and what has to do with description and world building. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'm gonna choose what I'm going to do, if I'm going to work on world building and description or if I'm going to work on something else like language. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I feel like I can do this in 1 week, but at the same time it's gonna be hard going back and forth between my old draft and this draft and finding all the scenes. Anyway, I'm gonna go now, and I'll talk to you guys in the end of the week, and hopefully I have done some more writing or editing in my book. So this is the end of the writing vlog, the first part of my revisions on my first project. One thing is for certain, I'm not done editing this book, but with the revision and the structuring, that whole redo, you know, where I restructured my whole book, that whole thing is complete. I feel confident in my new structure and how it all looks right now. The only thing that I need to be working on next is the language, for example, the descriptions, the prose. But all I know is that I'm done with restructuring my book. I'm done with the core elements. Like, I'm done editing the core elements, for now at least. So the kind of final word count of my second draft. I'm still going to do a little bit more writing, like I said, with the world building and the descriptions and everything. But as of now, the kind of official word count is 95,663. And I have 37 chapters. So since I last talked to you guys, I think I have cut down a lot of words. I have been cutting sentences from left to right that didn't make sense. And so the word count has, gotten smaller. So that's all I've got to say for this video. Like I said in the beginning though, I will be doing a write a short story with me kind of vlog, because it will be like the second time I write a short story ever, and I'm really excited about that. So with that said, leave a like, a comment of what you are working on right now, tell me all about your projects. It's always so fun to know what you are working on, and subscribe because I post a new video every week, every Thursday. And if you want to watch more from my channel, please subscribe because it means the world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!